So, good evening, everyone. Good evening. Yeah, so we'll recite refuge and bodhicitta prayer. So that those of you who have refuge practice, you can refresh them and generate altruistic motivation to make our existence and this very life, this very year, month, week, this very day, this very session to be most meaningful, most beneficial in the accumulating as extensive merit as possible, and able to bring the beneficial impact to all the other sentient beings. And after that, we recite the salutation to Guru Shakyamuni Buddha, then to the lineage gurus. So then here again, feel the presence of all the Buddhas of the 10 direction, in the presence of all the lineage gurus. Then oneself, in the presence of them, and witnessing the gurus and Buddhas, witnessing that we are, diligently following their examples, their teachings, and can feel and very much like seeing them directly that they are so pleased with you. Then there's immense emanation, emanating lights, light rays, nectar following towards you. So that way, whatever Dharma discussion that we do, directly impact our spiritual. Sanje je dan zo je jo na la ja jo ba do da ne ja zo je da ji che je je be zo nam do la ben je zan je ru ba ra jo san je che dan zo je jo na la ja jo ba do da ne ja zo da ji che je je be zo nam je do la ben je zan je ru ba ra jo san je che dan zo je jo na la ja jo ba do da ye je je ge be zonam ye ro la ben jire san ye ro ba la sho kam ge do je ne zo ne da wa dam je ban be jire dam be je ne den je ba go dam de la cha se o ni ni je zon do je be la ma ze je kan je de de ge cha na be mo ten jin ja zo la so wa de zo da yu jin ye mo. Okay, thank you. So tonight the subject is about Mandala offering. So we have about 3 sessions beside tonight or with tonight. 3 sessions altogether, isn't it? Okay. So maybe one of the session, maybe we might need to do some practical, practice of the mandala offering. I don't know how many of you have the mandala set. Those of you who you can bring them. Maybe we can do that on the last session. And those of you who don't have mandala set, you can actually use, maybe a plate, then fill with fill with rice or barley grain or any kind of grain. So usually the mandala set comes with also sometimes 2 rings or 3 rings, minimum. The usual ones about 3 rings. So yeah, maybe just bring the plate and and some heaps of rice. But then again, if it's inconvenient, then you can just watch, how we do. So from there, then you can learn. So the actual the mandala offering, that which usually used to accumulate as a preliminary practice, is the using the whole set of the mandala, that which is here, an example. So this one is from Mishala's house. So it's 3 rings, and the top, the crown, and this is the mandala base. So, but on the last session, if you find some kind of plate, something like this, that would be good. But otherwise, even a flat is okay. As far as concerned with the size, can be varieties. It can be as small as like this, can be as huge, even the size of your whole your body. But for practical practice, there's something that which you can handle by your hand, in terms of it is size, it is weight, like that. There's a lot of detail to discuss about, how to do the practice and what kind of material that to use. There are a lot of suggestions that which we'll try to cover briefly, during these first 2 sessions, including of the ingredients, what kind of the ingredients that we use for the offering, etc. Then the second level of mandala offering practice, usually, we use mala. So mala or any jewels, with the hand mudra. So the hand mudra is very much, like this. So very much like combined together like this. Then the 2 thumb holding 2 finger. Then the index, isn't it? I don't know how to say. So you can see here. The thumb and the little finger, and index finger to the index finger. Yeah, the opposite index finger to each other. Then the ring finger, the two ring finger, stand in the center like this. So, so this is the most common and easy. But if you don't have mandala set, then it can be sufficient of at least performing this offering gesture, offering mudra. So again, this has its own symbolisms. The middle one symbolized as a Mount Meru, and the two corner as the four continent. Then on top, the tip of the two ring finger, sun and moon. Then the rest of the palm, serve as the universe ground. So you visualize that, and the mudra symbolize that. Then you offer this mudra gesture whenever you recite the mandala prayers. So very much, almost all the prayers, pujas, there's a sections of mandala offering, so you can use that. And then there's another set of mandala, which in fact there are three kinds. That's the most, the most extensive. Those are the mandala, Zen mandala. The most extensive one is the 3D build mandala. Usually you can build that with precious, gems, gold, silver, copper, if not at least, like precious, like medicinal woods, like sandalwoods, etc. Yeah, you can witness them in some of the great monasteries, especially in the tantric monasteries. So that is called the Lula. Then the second level is the Zen mandala. Zen mandala also comes in, yeah, very much like a 3D or like 2D, or some just flat, like a drawing with the sand. Then after that, so that is called the Tenzin Jinko, Tenzin Jinko, the Zen mandala. Then the third one is the Redi Jinko, mandala written on the paper or the cloth. The paintings, so like that. So there are such, so those display are the mandala offerings. There are also such like that. Then there are also 4 different type of mandala can be categorized. The outer mandala, which is like this, this offering using this mandala base. This you can regard as outer mandala, and also using the finger, the mudra, the hand mudra. This also can regard as outer mandala. Then the outer structure, the display of the earlier mentioned mandalas also can symbolize as an outer mandala. Then after that, inner mandala. The inner mandala is very much a detail I will discuss later, which is very much constructing, actualizing the entire your body, your inner organs. Then, yeah. and also making offerings of uh, the the three different partial attitude, like attachment, aversion, ignorance, an object of the three partial attitude, the so-called as an enemy, stranger, the loved one. Mm. So making all those uh, meanings as an offering, so that become inner mandala. Such as in the church practice, the the, the cutting, the practice, the cutting the ego, cutting the self-grasping, the church practices very much perform the inner mandala offering, which your own body, your own limbs and organs, everything, transform into an offering. So again, there's extensive meaning there, and visualizations, way to do, and and the benefit out of it is so powerful. It is an extensive practice. So these four different categories of the mandala offering very much based on the tantric practice. Then secret offering. The secret offering is very much the the dharmakaya within. You dissolve your ordinary being, ordinary basis of the body, speech, and mind, then arising into the deity, from that dharmakaya essence, and making that as an offering. So that is the secret offering. Then secret mandala offering. Then suchness. There's also mandala offering called suchness mandala offering. So that any form of the earlier mentioned mandala offering adorned with the three pures of emptiness, meaning the person, the self who performed the mandala practice, all the ingredients and all the gestures, all the activities of the mandala practice, then the objective, that you offer the mandala practice, all three is understanding its nature in lack of inherent existence. And that the union of that voidness and bliss, making offering, that's the mandala offering of suchness. So then the object where you make this mandala offering, you offer to the merit field. So in the merit field, the central figure of the merit field is a guru. So all these practices is very much, in relation to Guru Yoga practice also. Why the central figure of the merit field is Guru? Because Guru is the most powerful, the nearest, to receive the blessings of the Buddhas, of the deities, of the Dakas and the Dinis. So the Guru is the most resourceful, receiving your blessing. So when you make the offering, the object of offering, the Guru becomes the central. Then the meritorious accumulation, going to be most extensive. So the object of offering mandala is the central object is Guru. And there's also Yidam, the meditation on deities, especially the deity that from which that you have practice, like receive of initiations, sadhana practice, etc. Then even to those of deities that which you have not established the direct relationship, such as receiving initiation, also invite as the object of your mandala offering. So there are the deities of the four classes of tantra, and the mother tantra, father tantra, the mother tantra like Heruka, the father tantra like Guya Samaja, Yamentaka, etc. And from the yoga tantra, from action kriya tantra, like Hara, Chenrezig, Manjushri, Vajapani, 35 Buddhas, etc. like that. Then there's also numberless, Buddhas of the past, present, future. The Buddhas of the fortunate eon before even Shakyamuni Buddha arrived, such as the Buddha Setupchen, then the four Buddhas of the fortunate era now, like Horvajik, all the way up to Shakyamuni Buddha, and then the future Buddha like Maitreya, etc., and 35 Buddhas, 21 Taras. Like in 21 Taras are in the deities. So 35 Buddhas are in the content, of the Buddhas of the three times. Then all the lineage masters of the profound lineage, extensive lineage, the profound, profound lineage, such as Shantideva, Nagarjuna, then all the way to Manjushri, extensive lineage, like such as Atisha, Selimba, Asanga, Maitreya, then all the Dharma protectors, the enlightened one, like such as Hayagriva, the Arya Bodhisattva, like 10 Bhumi Bodhisattva protectors, like such as Mandala, or then ordinary, protectors, like such as Srinjema. So they are basically, whether you know the name or not, just in your visualization, entire, Dharmapalas, Dakas and Dakinis, lineage, masters, all the lineage gurus, starting from your root guru, then all the Buddhas of the three time, all the deities of the four, four tantric schools. So all these are the object where you offer the mandala. Then you can offer the, you can visualize the object of offering of the mandala practice, like such as like the tradition of Lama Chopa, the Guru Puja, the extensive merit field, vivid of each and every the deities, and the Buddhas, the lineage masters, and so in that, if you follow that tradition, then even the gurus, you try to visualize every guru, very clear, vivid, reciting in front of you as an object. Then, so then there's a Kundu Nurbulu. There's one. There's another tradition in the Kundu Nurbulu. So that is like very much like one object, which can be your root guru. You just visualize the root guru and understand he is or she is the embodiment of all the past, present, and all the other, the gurus and all the past, present, future Buddhas, deities, and so on. You can also visualize like that. Then there's another tradition that visualizing, on top of each of the figure. Like, first you visualize the root guru, then on top of the root guru's head, then the other lineage gurus. So you can place them on top of each of the the figure's head like that. So there's also such visualizations. And mainly there are three ways of visualizations that you can do. That's one of the way to actualize, the object where you offer the mandala offering. So then another another way is that you can have two sets of mandala sets, or you can just organize, only the mandala base. Maybe that can be just like kind of like like upside down big plate or bowl, that which made of crystal, made of base is made of precious gems like gold, silver, copper, brass, turquoise, ruby, amber, all this regarded as a precious gem. So then there you place the hips that you use for the mandala offering. You place one hips in the center. That is your guru. Then the front is the east. Shat or Nop Chang. East, south, west, north. So in the center, so very much like in the center, guru. Then in the east, I think the deity. Then in the south, Buddha. West, Dharma. North is the Sangha. You can also place like that. So then this made the one that made the hips, you place in front of you. Then right here, you make the mandala offering. Or you can place that on the altar or some higher level on the table. So that's quite commonly done, especially during mandala retreats. Let's say, those of you who went to Bodh Gaya, around the stupa, you see many individuals there. They are performing, mandala mondo retreats. So you may witness that, that there's one mandala set that they put in front where they got some hips, and that hips you can also can made by a torma dough, flour mixed with 3 whites and 3 sweets. Very much similar to the mandala set that yesterday we used. You got the 5 hips. You can make a dough, 5 of that, or you can place precious stones like crystal. You can place 5 crystal or 5 precious gem or gold or whatever, or maybe gold ring. So but in your understanding is guru, deity, Buddha, Dharma, Sangha. You can visualize like that. So the mandala offering, the one of the main purpose of mandala offering, even though there are unbelievable benefits out there, and hope that we have time to go, through detail. But just introductory here. You do the mandala offering practice to accumulate merits. So there are many different numbers of wondos, or the wondos are the preliminary practice, or preparatory practice. Preliminary or preparatory accumulation of conducive condition in order oneself to be fully mature, or fully ready to able to practice the most profound Dharma, most secret Dharma, which is the highest yogic tantra. So there are common preparatory preparation practice and uncommon preparatory or preparation practice. If you go through a bit strict training, in Tibetan Buddhist tradition, the common preparatory practice is to master the Lamrim, or at least master the teaching on three principal aspects of the path. Renunciation, bodhicitta, emptiness. Well understanding and renunciation, bodhicitta, emptiness, and also, quite matured in training in those practices. Means you have cultivated, meditation on those topics, and gain, some basic experiential benefit. You have achieved some basic experiential benefit. Like there's, you understood the real meaning of renunciation, and you really, felt the renunciation towards samsara, towards karma, delusion, negativities, etc. And genuine sense of altruistic aspirations that arises in you, that you truly want to, dedicate your life, fulfilling the meaning of, the artistic path, by dedicating, fully your life in the service of numberless sentient beings, all the way up to the ultimate benefit of enlightenment. Genuinely mean it, like very much like an example, like our gurus, like Gyamshanama Subrahmanyam, like whole life able to dedicate day and night, life and death, everything, in the cause of numberless sentient beings, liberation, enlightenment. So at least that you achieve that aspiration, you mean it. And then genuine understanding on emptiness. And in our day-to-day life, that really, very much rapidly losing attachment, grasping towards the samsaric existence, towards samsaric pleasure, samsaric experience of suffering, or even in a neutral state of being, very much like you gain genuine sense of detachment, and is completely being aware, even though it's not realized, but being aware in your mindfulness, the ultimate nature of existence, of self and phenomena. So this is the common preparatory or preliminary practice, and that's something that we can base on to be able to accomplish the common preparatory practice, to study Lamrim. In Lamrim, there's one most important subject that require the practice of Tantra is the Guru Yoga practice. You see, so when you learn Lamrim, then you're able to equip all the the common necessary preparatory practices will be equipped. So the uncommon preparatory practice is the minimum, the four preliminary practice. The first one is to purify the impure base, to prepare, the ripened vessel, to prepare oneself vessel that can able to digest the nectar, the blessing of the Dharma, the blessing in particular, the blessing of the Tantra is the practice of Vajrasattva. So the Ngondo practice of Vajrasattva. So there are minimum, 100,000, dedicated repetitions of the 100-syllable Vajrasattva mantra, minimum. Then, you're conducting, at least one sessions, discipline 1 sessions a day, minimum. Best is 4 sessions, or more. If not, at least 1 sessions a day. Even physically, you have to conduct that retreat in a disciplined manner, and which the practice has the element of preliminary practices like refuge, bodhicitta, then the refuge, bodhicitta, then 7 limb practices, then conducting the actual the recitations of the mantra according to sadhana, then the concluding the requirement of proper dedication in bodhicitta, dedication in emptiness, etc. So that helps to prepare one's being as a pure vessel to receive the blessing of the most profound Dharma. Then the second preliminary practice is the refuge. Now, since the one's base is pure, now you plant the seed of the enlightenment, which is the refuge. Then you conduct a refuge retreat. Again, minimum 100,000. And the conducting of the retreat similar manner like the earlier one. So then after you plant the seed, now you need to nurture the seed. Nurture by the conducive conditions of merits. So then you need to accumulate merit. So in order to accumulate merit, to nurture the virtuous seed of the refuge, or the seed of the pre-existence of the Buddha nature, and to receive the blessings of the most profound Dharma Tantra, then you practice mandala offering. So again, mandala offering retreat, minimum 100,000. Minimum 100,000. No. So yeah, minimum 100,000 using the mandala base. So that retreat, the hand mudra mandala practice not sufficient, and also the displaying of the outer mandalas are also not sufficient. So you need to use the mandala base. So yeah. And when it comes to the performing the offering, there are many different heaps that you can place. There are 7 heaps, which is the common mandala offering practice that introduced from the sutra tradition. Then there's the uncommon, the mandala offering heaps, the 9 heaps. That's according to the Kalachakra. the Kala Chakra mandala offering. There's 9 heaps. Then Lama Tsongkhapa, he performed uh, uh, 23 and 27. So either 23 or 27. So there's a 23 hips also you can practice. There's a 27 hips also you can practice. So Lama Tsongkhapa performed that mainly. Then there's another master. I think mainly from Sakya tradition. I think. And so there's a 37 hips. So 37 hips, and that is very much like the most extensive. And in today's time, Nyingma Kagyu Saja Gelu, very much perform the 37 hips of the mandala offering. So when we do the mandala retreat, you use the 7 hips. So in the first round, you can offer at least 1 time or 1 or 3 times of the 37 hips, or 27 hips, or 23 hips. Then second round onward, and you use the 7 hips. Those 7 hips are in the center, Mount Meru. Then in the 4 corner is 4 continents. Then on the tip of the Mount Meru, there are sun and moon. So 4, 5, 6, 7. So 7 hips. So Mount Meru in the center, 4 continents on the 4 side. Then another 2 hips, at the right and left, sun and moon. So very much like Mount Meru, the center. Then the 4 continents, first on the east, south, west, north. Then sun at the right, moon at the left, the center. So this is the 7 hips. And of course, to build that 7 hips, there are process. The process which you use for, all the different, hips of the mandala offering practice. So first of all, today I will just like briefly display. So then on the last session, we will practice well. So what you need to do is, of course, you need to hold the base, isn't it? So you cannot hold empty-handed, because as an offering, so to create auspiciousness, you always hold with something in your hand. So you get handful of grains in your left hand, then you pass the mandala base to the left hand. So with the grains, you hold this. You hold the mandala base. Then after that, you need to collect another handful of grain in the right hand. Then now you have to touch your wrist at the center of the base, mandala base. So after touching it, you need to do 3 clockwise, wrapping 3 clockwise, and wrapping 3 anti-clockwise. So while you're wrapping, you gradually release the grains also, you gradually release like this. So it's basically, while wrapping, you just like release some of the grain like that. When you rub it, also you collect handful of grain, again while releasing, and you rub 3 times. So now the meaning of rubbing 3 times clockwise actually is rubbing outward. So there you can visualize anything that you wish to purify. So in general, you purify the 3 poisons, the attachment, aversion, ignorance. So that time you can recite in general practice, you can recite even Vajrasattva mantra. Om Vajrasattva Samaya Mano Balaya Vajrasattva, like that, so you can, if once a while, dedicating this practice for purification, so you can rub more than 3 times. So when you do the retreat, because you need to count, so that you have to, you cannot spend too much time only rubbing, isn't it? So during the retreat, then you just rub like 3 times. So 3 poisons. You just understand, you purify the 3 poisons, And when you rub inward, anti-clockwise, then you collect the merit of the 3 countless eons, or you also understand you're collecting the path or the realization on the 3 higher trainings: morality, concentration, wisdom, or receiving the knowledge of the 3 baskets. You can also visualize like that. Or otherwise, you can rub many rounds, and whatever blessing that you wish to achieve, you can visualize them, and you can recite different sutras, different mantras, whatever auspicious prayers that you can remember while rapping, you can recite that, like this. So for this counting retreat, then the prayer that you use, the 4-line mandala offering prayer, the Sashi Peji Joshim and the revelation in the Gemba, the Sanji Shindo Mide Boy, to go Namdashin at Chokashu, the 4-line mandala offering prayer. The common one, I don't know how to say in English, the common one. And this mandala offering practice, you can also combine with the refuge and bodhicitta retreat. So if so, then when you're wrapping 3 rounds out and in, that time you can recite refuge and bodhicitta 4-line prayers. Sangye Chadang Soje Sonam, Chanju Badu Dani Jasum, Dage Jizo Jive Sonam, Dola Pinja Sanjin Ruban Show. Then after that, then when you place the hips, then you recite Sa Shi Peji Joshim and the relation in the Gemba, the suggestion of the Rugunam Dashin. So if I do that now, like this. Sangye Chodang Soje Chonam La, Chanju Badu Dani Jasum, Dage Jizo Jive Sonam, Dola Pinja Sanjin Rubara Show. Sa Shi Peji Joshim and Dotam, the relation in the Gemba, the suggestion of the Boy, the Bonam Dashin, Edam Gururana Mandala Kamnia Dayami. So these 8 lines of prayer is just nice for whole complete process. Otherwise, you can just recite this repeatedly, the 4-line mandala offering. Sa shi peje joje mendo dhamma de rable shi nyende jeba de sanje shin do mi de po ba ye to nam da shin ma che ba chu e dhamma guru rana mandala kaniya daya me sa shi peje joje mendo dhamma de rable shi nyende jeba sanje shin do mi de po ba ye to nam da shin ma che ba chu e dhamma guru rana mandala kaniya daya. So you will get used to it. So initially, you sometimes may place the right to the left. It doesn't matter. But eventually, you will get so used to it, and you will place nicely, and you will do very fast. Right? See. So yeah. So we will practice that on the last day on your dinner plate. And eventually, in the future, it's very beneficial to get a mandala set. If you can effort, since as an offering, so you can get something made of the gold, silver, or partly gold plated, or partly silver, plated, or copper. The base is whole is copper, but then plated with gold, plated with silver. And in some cases, they also adorn with many jewels, and like this, this is a handmade, so can be very beautiful. But you can have that in different materials, and or just a copper, one that I have, I didn't bring here, is a plain copper, and the ring is like something like that. So any questions? Actually, there's in my note, there's about 20 over points, 24 or 5 points to touch. Anyway, yes, please.
Is it working? Yeah. So, Geshi, would you repeat again? So, if we are combining the mandala offering with the retreat along with the refuge in bodhicitta, then as you're doing clockwise, you do the Sangye Chodang Choki prayer.
Yep.
As many times as you need to.
Yeah.
And then when you're going anti-clockwise, you do the Sajipoki,
no, during the 3-time clockwise, anti-clockwise, there you recite refuge in bodhicitta. So okay. It would be just nice.
Oh, I see. Okay. All right.
So when you place, when you start to place the hips, you are actually reciting the 4-line mandala offering prayers.
Oh, I see. When you're putting the hips. Got it. Okay. Okay. Thank you.
Geshi, we have a question online.
Okay. Go ahead.
Mary, unmute yourself and go ahead.
Hello, Geshe-la. Thank you so much for being here.
Hello.
Question. Sometimes, for example, in the Tara Puja, there's in the FPMT book, the 23 heap is offered
Yes.
in the book. Yet when we do the Tara Puja with Geshis, for example, it seems like the 37 heap is used. Is there a reason why? Thank you.
So the 23 hips actually is specifically, Lama Tsongkhapa used that. Sometimes he used 23, or sometimes he used 27. So this is the specifically Lama Tsongkhapa's tradition. The 37 after Lama Tsongkhapa, there's another master. So I have the name here. Oh, sorry, I also got mistake with the Lama Tsongkhapa. Lama Tsongkhapa is 23 or 25th, 23 or 25. Then Donguen Chejal Pakpa is one of the Sakya Lama. So he met, he started this lineage of performing 37 hips. Then after that, when you perform 37 hips, all the other hips that mentioned before, 7 or 23 or 20, 25, all completed. So when you do 37 heaps, it's the most complete. So that's why, now commonly or most people will use 37 heaps. But in a certain text, the masters, when they compile the text, they feel special connection to a certain lineage, maybe with Lama Tsongkhapa, then the 23 heaps are placed there. So then just follow that. Yeah.
Thank you,
So I have-
Geshe-la.
Thank you.
I have two questions. 7, 9, 23, 25, 27, 33, whatever the last one was, 37, I forget. What do these numbers have their origin in sort of ancient
Yes.
Hindu numerology, or what exactly? I mean, why those? Why not 8, 11, 15?
Yeah. So this, I think, so that's one of the reason offering all these different objects. Basically, those highlighted, objects in the universe, like such as Mount Meru, 4 continents. Then different auspicious objects like 8 royal, auspicious elephant, auspicious horse, and again each one has its own legend, unbelievable beneficial legends that happened, or then like such as 8 auspicious, etc. Then of course one of the most significant that existed in the universe, like sun and the moon, So very much you're offering entire universe, but naming those highlighted objects
and piling them on top of each other, I guess, as the numbers go up.
Yeah, there's rules of the placing of those different objects, starting from so very much like this whole mandala base symbolized as the universe. So then in the universe, then there's the the highest mountain, like Mount Meru, and where the 4 continents are placed in the 4 directions. Then there's a ring, on the first ring there are certain numbers, or objects to place. Then on the second, certain numbers. On the third, then finally the crown, So when you place the crown, you place the crown of so it's very much the everything, all the auspiciousness of human and gods and all the celestials, like placed as a crown in the center like that. So now the main reason why you file up all this, universe and existence as a make offering. In Tibetan, there's one word called Xing Zhongwa, means to very much is about purifying the ordinary base where we exist, like the universe where we exist, by making offering to the divine, by making offering to the Buddhas and the deities, the Guru. It brings the impact of purifications of the impure universe, and this impure universe will result by the benefit of the merit that we accumulate by making offering, that we achieve the resultant purified universe, which is the actual celestial of the Buddha, and which is also called Mandala, which is also a universe, but purified universe.
So these types of physical mandalas are really an immersive reality that you're creating by these different placements, correct?
Mm-hmm.
This is really an immersive reality that you're recreating with these different placements as they build.
Yeah, it's recreating in your visualization, recreating that, in one, relative substance. which yourself will engage in that action.
Right.
And that way, the practice belong to you. That way, very much like entire universe in your palm. Entire universe, you're able to own through the tools of the mandala offering practice. That's why we say that the most extensive one, that we must use the mandala base. Just the hand gesture is not good enough. So using the mandala base, so there's a consecration that done by the past realized masters that in reality, you're able to actualize the sufficient of you actually making offering of entire universe as like your own belonging, to the divine one.
It's 2024 though, so how do you feel about sort of a 3D creation on a computer video monitor where you're building and chanting? You okay with that?
Yeah, why not? Why not? That's very beneficial for visualization.
Sure.
And our spiritual practice, one of the very important element is visualization. So if anything is helpful for visualization, which is wonderful.
The one thing I'm uncomfortable with is the economic aspect of buying the mandala set. I mean, there's a lot of Buddhists out there that don't have any money. They can't buy a gold one with jewels. And I mean, isn't the emphasis more on the good motivation and your mental state rather than the thing?
Yes. Lama Tsongkhapa, he did on the rock. He don't have anything, and he did. He found a rock in front of him, and he practiced the mandala offering. And my late master Geshi Lama Kuncho, he used rock. You can even witness today. And the rock is big size, huge size. And he practiced. I have a note here. I think 1,300,000 maybe.
Sheila is 1.8 million. Lama Tsongkhapa.
Lama Tsongkhapa 1.8 million.
Yeah.
1.8 million. But Lama Tsongkhapa. And I have a note here that Lama Kuncho, I think it's around 1.3 million or something. Okay, now I forgot. So anyway, the practice, and also the hips for in the Geshi Lama Kuncho's case, he caught 1,200,000. Right. Maybe I think maybe about in between, when he was conducting there's one retreat, 3 year. In one place he stay about 3 years. So it's not a main sessions of practice, but in between, so he was conducting other sessions. So then he used the sand, the small rock chips at the river there, and the plate is just a rock. So it's up to you. But if you have the resources, then again, since it's a practice of offerings, you can use some precious gems, so like that. So even if you go to Nepal, India, you will find all different range. Some are just a tin copper plate, which is beautiful. You can use that.
Can I?
Sure. Sorry. Oh yeah. After this. Sure.
If I offer the moon to the divine, is that the same thing as renouncing the moon?
Renouncing? Yes. That's a very good question. So the mandala offering practice, in fact, is a very effective antidote to to release the attachment grasping to the possessions, to any goodness. Because when you offer something belonging to you, or you at least visualize as a belonging to you, and that helps to purify this grasping attachment, and from there you gain the benefit of renunciation, which is one of the most important part to develop the rest of the spiritual realizations. Yeah, please.
If you were to buy a mandala set, is there any special ceremony or recitation or things you should do before you use it?
Yes. So I mean, if you find the complete resources, then you need to gather the 5 substance, which make up as one ingredient called bakchung, and that is made out of 5 substance, and that is quite interesting. I don't know again why. Cow's urine and cow dung and cow's milk and cow's butter and saffron water. So these 5 things you mix together, and it will very much, the cow dung will come out as a something like kind of like a substance that tangible substance, and you very much soak that in the saffron water. Then internet, I don't know, but you can find it. You can find, maybe Tibetan Medical Center may have, and some more. The best is red cow. Yeah, red cow's urine, red cow's cow dung, red cow's butter, red cow's milk, then the saffron, Mm. 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 So, oh, sorry. So actually, it become 6. What's it? Red cow's milk. Yeah, it's actually not 6 or 5. Red cow's milk and the butter. There's I thought there's a yogurt also. Or maybe cheese also. So actually, I also don't know why they use this, and why they didn't use the cheese also. So anyway, so then you need to soak that, that pill or whatever, the bakchung into the saffron water. Then you need to you need to use your index finger to wet it, drip it. Actually, it's both like that. Some they use both, some just use like this. So you can use both like this. The thumb and the finger. Then after that, you place the thumb right in the center of the mandala base right here. Then you need to do like this 3 times, again clockwise. This one, so there's Om Benza Bume Om Benza Reke yeah. And so you can the mantra Om Benza Bume Hong. So so that itself, the mantra that which help to consecrate it. So or you can also recite maybe Om Hong. So in many individuals, they don't even recite anything. They just do this mudra. So they ask to do this mudra. So you 3 rounds, a whole round like this, like that. Then another round, another way. And that's done, preparing the base. Uh, so otherwise, yeah. Once you get the mandala base, then you can do the normal consecration practice. You can do by yourself, recite refuge, Buddhista prayer. Then after that, then you can, if you know the prayers of invoking the consecration, Dakatakinis, then you can recite that. Otherwise, so there's one prayer, Malu Semji Kunyu Kunju do the Punjan means you can recite that. Otherwise, just recite the interdependent arising mantra or the emptiness mantra. Om Ye Dharma Hetu Prabhu Hetu Evambade Ma Shamanai Soha 3 times. So you can use the grain or the ingredients that you prepare for mandala. You can, while reciting the mantra, you can place like Om Ye Dhamma Hetu Prabhu Hetu Evambade Ma Shamanai Soha 3 times. You can do that. So the interdependent arising mantra you can find in the prayer book very easily. Then after that you can dedicate the merit in whatever way you wish to dedicate bodhicitta dedication. So that's done. Or once you get the whole set, you want to consecrate the whole set, you open like this. Then you prepare a separate uncooked rice or flower petals or any kind of grain. So then you recite this interdependent rising mantra. You offer the flower like that. Om Ye Dhamma Hetu so 3 times. And that also sufficient to to consecrate. Then you can also do this. It's quite easy to get saffron, so you can soak saffron. Then find a clean cloth. You dip the cloth in the saffron water, and at the first time, you can just wipe the entire mandala in and out, the entire thing with that saffron water. Yeah. No, if you can get the pakchung, which they call pakchung, so you say pakchung for mandala offering, then the lamas or the monasteries or the medical center may understand. Otherwise, you just say cow dung. You say go and collect from outside. Yeah.
Gisela, can I
Yes.
clarify? Caroline here. Gisela.
Yes, please.
Just now when you were saying to consecrate the mandala base, when you do the Om Ye Dhamma Hetu, that means you don't have to do the pachung with the second saffron water. That procedure no need to do. You just straight away do that Om Ye Dhamma Hetu with the flower.
If you have pakchung, and that's a specific practice to to cleanse and consecrate the mandala base, and so you do that. But if in case the pakchungs are not easy to get, so if you don't get pakchung, then Om Ye Dhamma Hetu, the interdependent rising mantra, will be good enough. Yes. Yeah, maybe you can make. Yeah.
Yeshada, quick clarification from my side. I was told for people who want to buy a mandala, I was explained that is important, the size of the base is important, it has to be larger than our hand. Could you confirm or not? Yes.
In fact, bigger the size is better because you're making, you're using this for offering, so it's as abundant as possible. So more the space, you can put more the offerings on top of it. And that's why I say at least make it bigger than your hand, your palm.
But I will say that it gets heavy. So for those who have not very strong hands,
at the same time, have to be practical also. Especially if you're flying, between American cities, you are not allowed to carry more than 15 kilo, isn't it? So that's a quite trouble. And some people do carry mandala itself maybe 10 over kilos. I think Venerable Rubina, I think her mandala, some of the ingredients are huge, those rocks. So another thing, you can also collect precious blessings, bless like rocks or substance from holy places. You can add wherever holy places you go, you try to get like small something from there, and you can offer. Then also many different form of precious gems you can collect and offer like that. Yeah. So.
Two more practical questions,
Yeah.
if I may ask. For those who would like to do the 100,000 mandala offering retreat, what is the typical time length that one should plan if one plans to do 4 sessions per day? Like how long would it take them to do 100,000?
Okay. Yeah. Maybe 2-3 months. Maybe about 3 months.
And the recitation, you presented it reciting in Tibetan. Is it equivalent if we do it in English? Does it matter, or should
Doesn't
it?
matter.
Okay.
You can do it in English, Tibetan. I think
And
that's okay.
Last question. I don't know if it's a quick one. If not, then maybe next time. But I was just wondering, you mentioned that in front of us, the direction is east. And I was just wondering where that comes from, or what the significance is, or what's the origin of those directions in the mandala offering.
So this direction is made based on, if you're making the mandala offering mainly to receive blessing, then you face east towards you. When you are making mandala offering mainly, meaning for offering or requesting, then you place the east towards the front generation. So for receiving blessing for yourself, to the east. For offering, to the east is out, opposite direction. Then after you do the hips, so if you are making mainly for offering, so you can actually place outward. If you are doing this mainly to receive blessing, you place inward. You conclude inward. This is to you start from you. So not the common direction. The direction determined from where you are. Yeah, like that. So this is no worries. Certain retreat, you need to determine the actual northeast direction. For mandala retreat, no need. Wherever you are, whichever direction you sit, that's the east.
Geshe, something that's not clear to me. You mentioned that in mandala, if you're doing the retreat again, this is in context of the retreat. You said there's first round you do 37 heaps, and the second round you do 7 heaps. I didn't understand what you meant by the rounds.
Sure. So let's say if you're doing like a retreat session. So during that one session, let's say 2 hours session, so you need to accumulate a lot of numbers, how much you accumulate. So at the beginning, the first time, you do the 37 hips. Then the second onward, until to the very end, you accumulate a number by placing the 7 hips, because that's the shortest. Then at the end, you also conclude with maybe minimum, one long, the longest version, the 37 hips. But then again, the numbers are not fixed. You can do maybe 3 or 4 or 10 rounds of the long one. Then after that, you dedicate another hour for the short one. Then at the end, again, long one.
So, and when you're accumulating the numbers, so each heap, each time you do a heap, you do the sajipoki, the prayer,
Yeah.
and that's one. That's one.
One.
Yep.
One.
Geshi, we have another question online.
Sure.
Mary,
Okay, maybe
oh, no,
first. You want to go first? Yeah, I will come back to you. No.
Mary, unmute, please.
Yeah, maybe online you want to go first?
Okay, I got it. When you do the lung, the 37 heaps, then you do the 7 after. If you're going toward 100,000, you don't count the first
You can
37.
count.
You
You can
count
choose
that
not
as
to
well.
count.
Well,
can
I
count
thought,
also.
okay, I misunderstood that you did that one first and then
No,
you start
You
counting
can count.
with the 7.
You can count.
Oh my, okay.
Yeah. And also one thing to remember for retreat, on the first day, whatever numbers that you accumulate, then every single rest of the day, you should count not less than that. Even sometimes you're unwell, in order to complete the retreat, you need to have the continuation. So best is, on the first day, you just do maybe one. One, then at least, even how busy or difficult day that may be, at least you can able to perform one like that. But generally, mandala offering practice, especially to those who already introduced to tantra, it is one of the most important practice to enhance our rest of the other sadhana practices. Is minimum do 6 times. So 3 times in the day, 3 times in the night. So there are a lot of quotations, like from sutras, from tantric treatises, like including even in 6th session Guru Yoga. You can understand that at least 6 times to be performed. So so in that understanding, according with that understanding, then when you want to go into retreat, then the minimum number you can make it 6. And the mandala offering practice is something that is so essential. With a very simple practice that you can accumulate great stores of merit, and which these practices are like hard practice, they're used by many great masters in the past. Like one very obvious example, like Lama Tsongkhapa, even after he's mastered in emptiness teaching, even after he composed, commentaries on illustrating unmistaken understanding on like Chandakirti's, the Buddha's intent, Buddha's intent on emptiness, etc. But then it's still, and then also like the correct intent of Nagarjuna, correct intent of Chandakirti, etc. But he didn't manage to realize the direct realization of emptiness. It's because of lacking of merit, and merely lacking of merit. So then after after he did a consultation with his guru, and then later he also managed to have a direct conversation with the Manjushri. But then Manjushri asked him to go and accumulate merit. Need to do purification practice through prostration, accumulations of merit through mandala offering. So then he traveled to there's one place called Wagga Chaling. So there, he accumulated 1.8 million, isn't it? Of the mandala offering, and he practiced that daily in many hours, many great amount of time. That at the very end to his practice, that his wrists all worn out, it's all worn out. Even the flesh, all is worn out. And still, he carry on, practice and accomplish, 1.8 million, something like that. Then, right there, he have gained the direct realization of emptiness, like that. So, and similar, like Gyabchen Lama Sopa Rinpoche, we all know how busy schedule, Rinpoche's day-to-day life is. Teachings and consultations, and he's a lineage holder of many initiation transmissions. So the lineage holders, they need to complete so many commitments, sadhana commitments daily. Many hours they need to do the sadhanas in order to keep the lineage that which you are qualified to pass down to disciples. So, but then one of the practice that Rinpoche would spend so much time, many hours daily, is to mandala offering practice. He carries mandala, it's very heavy. He carries, I was his attendant for some years. The mandala offering, the set itself is one big luggage, and Rinpoche spends so much time making mandala offering like that. And I remember because I was in the monastery, I was living in the living area of the late abbot Lama Rinpoche of Kopan Monastery. His schedules again is full time, whole day. Early morning, in the initial time, he's the chant master, he's the discipliner, he's the abbot, he's the philosophy teacher, he's the who look after the little kids that who's doing homework, he's nanny for everybody, and he has, he's also lineage holder, so he has also so much commitment. He spent about 3 hours minimum to do his commitments, and normally he conduct that around 1 o'clock until 2, 3 o'clock. Then that time we start our morning puja very early morning, so around 5 we already in the bomba. So can you imagine, he's almost not sleeping. He just go and look after the kids until 1 o'clock. There's a long story. Maybe I can't go there. So, but then in between, whenever he get opportunity, his mandala offerings are always next to his bed. He will do the mandala offering. Then again, at the end of his life, while he was living, you can see the glory of his realization manifesting out of through his actions. And when he passed away, he also produced a lot of relics, which are very obvious sign. That my late Master Geshe Lama Koncho, no question about when he was doing retreat, you can see that even the rock is like become so smooth. But then later when he come to city, so he has this, the mandala set. Actually, the mandala set that I'm using actually is what Geshe-la been using, and very, very humble material. But I remember, he spent so much of time when he was in Kopan or when he traveled, so much of time, performing the mandala offering practice. So if you go to any Tibetan masters, the serious, senior monks and retreaters, the mandala is something that they must practice daily, and how much importance there, you see. Then I didn't manage to go through it. Maybe next week we'll see how it goes. Many tantric treatises. All just now, Karen asked about where the source of using all this universe as a mandala offering. The sources are even during Buddha's time, even before Shakyamuni Buddha came into existence. It's already there, the practice that was practiced by the past Buddhas of the past. Is even before the today's time religions have existed. You see, and in Shakyamuni Buddha's teaching, like so even in the Kings of Prayer, there's a section, when you read the seven limb offering practices, there you will find, the mention of the many different heaps of the mandala offering practices. Those are the sources. So there are many texts. I have not here, but many texts that which emphasize why emphasize those specific like 4 continents, say offer, like 8 royal families you offer, royal offerings offer, Mount Meru that you offer, So these are all spoken by Buddha, and the benefit again. There's a section to talk about benefit, unbelievable benefit. So like that. Okay.
Mary, you want to ask your question?
Yes, please.
Thank you, Geshe-la. Following up on Nina's original question about East, Geshe-la, when we offer a Thanksgiving mandala to the Guru, would we then, for the first pile, Sha Lupangpo, would we put that opposite? We wouldn't put it close to us, we'd put it opposite on that time for the Guru?
Yeah,
That's
opposite. Yeah, towards the Guru.
Okay.
Oh,
okay. All right.
During the Thanksgiving, yeah, both Thanksgiving and requesting you place towards the Guru.
Okay, thank you so much, Geshe-la.
No, for the receiving blessing is you, but making offering is the Guru.
So during mandala retreat, we are receiving the blessings.
Sometimes you just make offerings, and you place is.
Oh, I see.
And sometimes you offer for receiving blessings. So blessings, there could be common blessing, uncommon blessing, blessing of this part, that realizations. So then you place is in front, the other side.
Okay.
Yeah.
And we have one more question online from Carolyn.
Sure.
Please unmute.
Please.
Geshe-la, Caroline again. Geshe-la, if we are doing the short 6-session Guru Yoga, at which point we do the mandala offering?
So I think the mandala offering you can do at the section that you are requesting the long life of the Guru, and the section also turning wheel of Dharma, the 6-session Guru Yoga, like similar like Lama Sherpa is most extensive, the Guru Yoga practice. The 6-session is like all combined together in a shorter version. So wherever the section that requesting long life of the Guru, requesting teaching, then there you offer the mandala offering. Yeah, whenever the verses comes about anything that is requesting Guru to remain, you offer the mandala. Whenever you request Guru to teach, you offer the mandala.
Just a quick question about the nature of accumulating merit. I don't even remember what the mantra was. It was 108 recitations. And then at the end, I realized I'd been leaving a syllable out. So I hadn't done it correctly. So if you're talking about 1 million recitations and all this kind of stuff, what if you mean well, and by the end you realize you haven't been doing it correctly?
Mm-hmm.
Have you accumulated merit or not?
You accumulate already, you definitely accumulated merit. But if you're able to do correct way, you accumulate even more merits. Okay, so maybe I will do one time to conclude, so you can also see. And so let's say normally, the mandala offering sets comes in like a cloth that wrapping like this, and this is the one that you actually place towards you. Then after that, you can place around like this. And you have a belt, you hook onto the belt. Otherwise, you can like just a simple tie here, like this. Then you open widely of the cloth so that these grains won't spill. Best is like your legs crossing, make it big wide, more like the Tara kind of sitting. So in the middle, you can place this mandala. Then the 3 rings and the top you can place out there if you have a table. If you don't have a table, you can put on the knee like this. So then, let's say if we do the long one, and of course first, okay, we have a bakshung, the cow dung, yeah. So and imagine. So I place the finger and thumb, or you can also do just place the ring, the index finger. Yeah. So yeah. So both is okay. So I place 2. So both wet, then place the thumb in the middle. So I go 3 rounds. Like that. This. So otherwise, even just in the recitation, when you do the long mandala, there's a mantra, Om Beza Bume Ao, Om Beza Reje Ao. That itself is a mantra to bless, consecrate also. So it is also sufficient. Okay? So then I already put grain inside here, yeah? So now, so the first thing is even before recite the prayer, you should place 1 hips, like kind of like already abundance. So one hip just throw, like that. So now when we do the long one, then the moment we recite the Om Benza Bume Ao or the Sisashi, that time already you do the 3 round out, 3 round in, then carry on placing the hips. Om Benza Bume Ao, Om Benza Reje Ao, Che Jare Kwe Jakwe Weso, then Re Jabo Re Rab. So the Mount Mary Jabo Re Rab. So after you put the Re Jabo Re Rab, then you place the first ring. Re Jabo Re Rab. So this time is I want to make offering to all of you of all the medical. So Ludan Luba. So the subcontinents you place like opposite, like kind of right to left balance, Ludan Luba, Ngaya da Ngaya Shen, Yun da Lam Jedo. Dameni da Rinpoche, Ri Wo Ba Samje Shen, Jaya Ba, Mame Baye Ludo, Kolo Rinpoche, Lobo Rinpoche, Lombo Rinpoche, Lombo Rinpoche, Tajo Rinpoche, Mabe Rinpoche, Tejen Baye Kumba, Jema, Jawama, Luma, Garam, Mendoma, Dubema, Nazema, Dijama, Nyema. So this is very big, so my hand is small, so I'm late. So I'm already reaching to the sun and moon. Nima dawa rinpoche du chole namba jewe jaze uso hada mi pejo pezo sopa ma sawa me. Sanji dongwa deda rinjen zawa dan yuba jebe pande lama dan banamda kebar doyan lama losan tunga do jecha. Jembe la zo goda jeba namla shingan bewa jiu tuje drewe den do shezo. Shene jan da zo dowa manju namje tata nyambe simje tamje la tuze wa chembe gon. Shinje la do zo. Sa shi beje joje mendo dama riraba le she nye de jemba de. Sanje shindo mi de bewa ye dobe namda she la. Shebarai sho. Ye Dhamma Guru Rana Mandala Kamne Yadayami. So you can, support, otherwise it may overwhelmed, So if you, especially you're pouring out, you support like this. But Kamniya Daya Mi done. So maybe I will show also the short one time. For the short one, we don't use ring. When you accumulate the retreat, we just use the base. Yeah. Sanje Jonan Zoji Jonan La Janju Bado Tane Jasonje, Daji Jinso Jebe Sonamje, Dola Benje Sanje Do Baraijo, Saji Beji Joji Mento Tamari Rable Jingen de Keba, Sanje Shindo Mi de Buwaye, Dugo Namda Shin La Che Baraisho. So this time, I place the east outside, but then conclude inward, which is also can. So that also accomplished 4. Now I will place inward for blessing. Sanje Jonan Zoji Jonan La Janju Bado Tane Jasonje, Daji Jinso Jebe Sonamje, Dola Benje Sanje Do Baraijo, Saji Beji Joji Mento Tamari Rable Jingen de Keba de, Sanje Shindo Mi de Bu. Dugo Namda Shin La Chubasho, Ye Dam Guru Rana Mandala Kamne Dayame, Sanje Jonan Zoji Jonan La Janju Bado Tane Jasonje, Daji Jinso Jebe Son. Dola Benje Sanje Do Baraijo, Saji Beji Joji Mento Tamari Rable Jingen de Keba de, Sanje Shindo Mi de Bu. Dugo Namda Shin La Chubasho, Ye Dam Guru Rana Mandala Kamne Dayame. Like that. Okay. So now when you want to pack the mandala set and you want to accumulate the merit of offering mandala all the time, so now you create the mandala offering inside of the base. So similar, the way how you do is basically you place everything inside, then you pack. So, so I would do quick one, okay? But I would recite 37 hits. Om Benza Bume Awo, Benza Reja Awo, Jere Kuye Jekwe Wato, Reja Borera, Reja Borera. Okay, now almost going down. Reja Borera, Shal Babolo, Dambole, no Palanje, Chan, the Mini, Ludan Luba, I have done. Yende da lam jo do da menyin da menyin da bo che re go ba sam je shin de je yo ba. Ma me ba ye lo do ko lo ren bo che no bo ren bo che zo mo ren bo che long bo ren bo che long bo ren bo. Da jo ren bo che ma be ren bo che de jen ba ye bon ba ye ma twa ma lue ma ga ra ma me do ma de be ma na ze ma de ja. Ye ma da wa ren bo che do cho le na ba je we ja ze u zo la da mi be jo bu zo so ba ma sa wa me. Saji Dongwa Deda Denje Zawa Dan Yuba Jibe Bande Lama Tamba Namda Jeba Doya Lama Lozon Tongwa Doje Jang Chempe Lazo Koda Jeba Namla Shinga Bewa Jiwo Tuje Dewe Dendo Shenzo Do Shene Jang Tazo Dowa Manjo Namje Tata Nyambe Zemje Tamje La Chinye Do Zawa Jembe Kone Chinye La Do Saji Peje Joje Mendo Dam Rable Chinye De Jemba De Sanje Shindo Mi De Bewa Dogo Namda Shing La Shue Barai Sho. So you don't do Itam Guru Rana Mandala Kanya Dayami. You place nicely in. Then after that, you have anything throw everywhere, you collect based on your reachable by your hand. Otherwise, it's all right. You can collect later. You can place back the next day. So then you start from here, 4 corners. Then after that, you hold. So all the hips are intact, like this, and take down. So you can even pack in your luggage and carry all over the world. Well, all the time, offering mandala. So then whenever you get next opportunity, then when you open, first thing is you do Ye Tam Guru Rana Mandala Kane Tayami, then you can resume the rest of the practices. So then, and at home or even in traveling, if you have an altar, then you place the in front.
So you would do that in between sessions as well during retreat?
Yeah.
Same
thing.
Idam Guru, you don't do that at the end of one session and then okay, got it.
Yeah. Okay, thank you very much. I took a lot of your extra time. Yeah. So we dedicate just like the way how Bodhisattvas would dedicate the merit, and how Dr. Lama Zopa Rinpoche would dedicate the merit at the end of any virtuous events. So we too dedicate just like that. Okay. Thank you.